Welcome back, Betty, to this amazing part two of Only for Men, which is also a Valentine special.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, do you have anything to tell women, or for sure men as well, but do you have anything else in terms of related to this? Someone who's young, maybe who just got their periods, or someone who's also old, but maybe they're going through something else, which they're scared of.
Um, Actually, to answer your question, I think one thing that I would advise people is if you feel like something is wrong, go to a doctor. So if you feel like your flow is heavier than usual, go to a doctor. It could be that you have a disease. It could be that you have a cyst. It could be many things that you might not realize and could affect your future in terms of sex or even fertility. And it's always better to check it ahead of time. So if you're unsure of something, but people go like, oh, it's normal, just check it. There's no harm. But speaking of issues, like I'd mentioned, I think a very common problem that people are facing or that I'm hearing of now is PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And people who have PCOS usually don't have proper periods, which is not good. So they don't get their period every month, like women should. Um, they lose a lot of hair, but I also know they have excessive body hair. So when it maybe comes to like their hands or legs or maybe even their face, they have more hair compared to women. It's because the female hormones of estrogen and progesterone are not as present as they should be. So that means testosterone is high. And so when that is high, it leads to you not getting your proper periods. It leads to excessive hair, things like that. And it usually means that fertility-wise, it's going to be a lot harder for people with PCOS to get pregnant. Even if they do, they probably don't get to full term with the baby, which means a lot of miscarriages. And it does affect people's lives. So PCOS is hard. I think one thing to be mindful of, if especially in school, I think it's very easy to bully someone who has a lot more facial hair than others, and maybe just be kind because you never know what the person's going through, and it's possible that they have a problem. And this is quite common in school. I know a lot of people would get teased about hair, but at the end of the day, it's common. I mean, everyone has hair on their body. And just because you have a little more doesn't mean that you should get teased about it. And sometimes, maybe it's normal, but sometimes it could also just mean that you have a problem. And it's obviously unfair to them to be teased about something they don't have control over and they have to go through a lot of medication about. And with PCOS, I know a thing that helps regulate periods is birth control, because birth control has estrogen and progesterone. So that means it gives them the hormones that are lacking and it helps to regulate their periods. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I don't know if I understood, if I did not get it or something. So basically, this
COS.
PCOS is basically something where your periods are irregular
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of, I mean, the side effects maybe are like you, not side effects, it's part of it. You start losing hair on your head, you start gaining hair on your body.
Mm-hmm. Another side effect is also that when you get your period, because you haven't gotten it in so many months, it's really, really, really heavy flow, which means like it gets as bad as having to change every 1 hour, which is bad. It's also hectic. It's hard because imagine having to go to the bathroom every hour to change. I mean, in normal terms, people would think you have a problem, but I mean, you probably do, but it's just not, it's frowned upon, you know what I mean? It's not seen as something that is okay to go in and change every hour. But at the same time, one thing that I feel like should change, which is going off topic a little bit, is women should deserve a day off at least when on their period, because period cramps are a real thing and they're painful. It is very bad. Your tummy area hurts, your back hurts, and it's in so much pain to the point where you can't even walk, or sit or lie down. It just physically hurts. And then on top of that, when you need to go pee, there's just so much blood coming out, and it's just not fun. And I feel like how you get maternity leave for when after you have a baby, I think it should be common to have at least a day or two off every month for women because, well, it's not our fault and we didn't ask for periods. I think it would be nice to have people be more considerate of the fact that not everyone has a smooth and easygoing periods. Although for some people, they are more happy during their periods and they feel great. Whereas for some, it's just depressing and sad and annoying and frustrating.
Oh, so there's a other side to this as well.
Very few people.
So people
But
love
yes.
it when they have periods. Like they have extra happiness, extra blissfulness.
I've only met one such person.
Okay. Talk about
But
this person.
this person is my best friend.
Okay.
Well, her periods only last. So if we ever had our period at the same time, it's literally like hell and heaven. When we meet in the kitchen, it would be me being a grumpy old fart and her being as happy, like picking out flowers during the sunshine. And she was quite nice, though. She was very sweet and understanding during my period. But you could really tell the difference when our periods happen at the same time. One, because she has it for like 3 days and she's done. I have it for about 7 to 8 days. For me, I'm in a lot of pain. I don't feel like eating. I can easily starve for like a good 3 days without having any food because I just do not have the appetite. And my mood is just not great for the first 2 days. Whereas for her, it's the complete opposite. She has a great appetite. She's eating. She's happy. She's living life when she's on her period. She says it's the best time. She loves it because otherwise life is depressing.
Wow. There's also another side to this. That's super nice to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what to say. Like, I've always said this to you personally, and I think I've said it to a lot of people in the last couple of years after knowing a bit more about this specific topic. I'm very sorry for the pain. I don't know, there's no use of me saying sorry. There's nothing close to that which I can go through or that I will go through.
Can I kick you in the balls?
Ouch. I don't think there's no other bigger pain than shoot the balls. That's a.
Maybe periods hurt more than that. You never know.
Oh my God, I don't even know what to do, honestly. Like with what we spoke, I think it's a big and brave thing that all women are going through, and having it once every month, more or less once every month for 3 to 4 days. Let's just keep it 3 to 4 days, which is still honestly a lot. And I haven't seen anyone till date complaining that I'm in my periods, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, there are instances, but it's not a factor which is stuck in my head. I really can't recall of any moment, any instance where it's like, she said this because she's not coming over here because she's in a period, she's in pain. I've literally seen a lot of my friends, especially in the last couple of years, let's go on a hike. I'm like, okay. And then on top, they're like, wait, give me like a small break. I'm like, are you fine? They're like, no, I'm getting a cramp. I'm like, okay, let's sit. She's like, no, I can't sit. Just wait. And then she tells me that she's in a period. I was like, what? And so many of these instances has happened. And again, hiking is like a super adventurous sport. But even sitting in your bed at your comfort with the food, even though you don't want to eat the food at that particular time, you have Netflix or whatever in front of you. You have everything in front of you and still you're in pain. I think that's something very sad. It should not happen, but it's happening. I can't do anything about it. Nobody can do anything about it. I'm assuming even if there are injections, pills, or whatever it is, I don't think it's not good for the body. But just a big salute from me to you and everyone, because it's something very good and very very great, I would say.
There's another fun fact. I feel like I've said fun fact a couple of times during this podcast.
We could put it in the Instagram reels. Fun fact #1. Fun fact #2.
You'll probably only hear it from me. Say fun fact a lot. But period pain can also feel like the same pain you would feel during a heart attack.
Okay.
Maybe not so fun, but I mean, it's a great way to put things in perspective, I guess.
Oh my God.
But you're so right. Like, I know so many people who go about, I mean, including me, but like just go about their daily lives, even when they're like in pain. I mean, I've worked, which I know is not a hike, but I've had to stay at work and I've ended up staying for overtime, which means instead of staying 8 hours, I've stayed about 12 hours in the office working while I was on my periods. And it was hard, but like, I mean, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, which is why I said it would be nice if we got a day or two off instead of suffering. But it's so common for people to just go about their daily lives because, again, it's not seen as a problem. People don't really empathize with it. People don't understand how hard it is because for generations it's been a taboo and it's not spoken about enough. And so people just assume it's not a big deal and they just carry on. And so I think with the generations that are coming, though, we're trying to be more vocal about things, which I believe is good. I don't think everyone would agree, but I think it's nice to have people be more aware of things. And empathy is always key. Understanding or at least trying to understand or relate to what someone is going through. You don't need to do anything. Like you were saying how I don't know what to do or I don't know how I would be of any help if I had to, see someone in so much pain. But I think empathizing is always nice. If there's anything you can do to just help them during that time, that would be good. Like if they need water and they just cannot even get up to get water, offer them water. Making sure they eat so that their body is not dying. Yeah, I think just simple gestures that come with empathy is just good enough.
Thank you. Well, one last question. Well, maybe I have two more. I don't know. What is your comfort when you're going through the menstruation cycle? What is your go-to thing?
My boyfriend. I mean, it was mostly, it's been different in Barcelona, but I think most of the time my comfort was with my best friend who we were living together. So she was always quite sweet and nice during this time. But also my boyfriend, he would come over, he would bring me a little gift set, which I never asked for, but it was the sweetest thing. He would bring me cookies or he would bring me like tea and coffee and he would like make it and bring it to me. He would make sure I have things in reach so that I wouldn't even have to get out of bed. So that means like food, water, juice, make sure I'm hydrated, make sure I'm fed enough to not die. And he was quite understanding because I wouldn't want him to even touch me or like hold me or hug me, which I know it sounds comforting, but when you're in so much pain, I kind of just like to curl up into a ball, which meant hugging would be difficult. So he would just give me the space that I would need, but he would be next to me, which was comforting. We would watch shows together so that I would be a little distracted, which didn't help, but it was just nice to know that he was being understanding and comforting, which is why I said I think it's always just nice to be there for someone, even though you can't physically do something. So in his case, he made sure that I had my meds in case it was too bad and I wanted to take it. It was right there next to me. And my best friend would always make me tea or coffee as well whenever I was just not feeling too great. Although caffeine is actually not good for your periods. It induces more period cramps, so stay away from caffeine when on your period. Tea is always good. I just really loved coffee, so she made sure I only had one coffee a day. But yeah, I had really nice, sweet people. They would bring me these little hot water bags to help with the cramps, which was very helpful. I would have 2 at a time, one on my stomach, one on my back. I would burn my skin, but it felt good.
Super sweet, super sweet. One last question.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you take, like when you take these 3-4 days, which happens in a month, what are the positives that you take into your day-to-day ordinary life after that?
Absolutely nothing. It sucks. There's nothing fun about periods. It sucks. It's the worst. I hate it. I literally dread the day that it comes. When my app tells me it's time for it and I see it, I'm literally just a depressed human being. I hate getting that notification. The only reason why I keep the app is to make sure that the cycle is not too irregular. It's not going over 40 days, which, due to stress, by the way, another fun fact, stress really affects periods and it can delay it like crazy, which has been happening quite a bit to me this year. And so I just maintain the app to check if my cycle's okay, if things are okay, and to log in my symptoms. So I know when my cramps are the worst, where it was hurting, at what time, things like that. But there's no great takeaway for me, at least.
Is this app very accurate to when you get?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, so I've been using it since like 2017, I think, or 2018. So it has all of my past data, and based on all of the data it's been collecting, it predicts this is when I should be getting it. If I don't get it by then, it sends me a little notification like, hey, you okay? Are you stressed? Are you tired? Things like that. And so it tells me if my cycle is beyond a certain time that it would be considered irregular, but not to freak out, but because, like things like stress and stuff can affect it. Travel also affects it. So not a big deal, but if it continues, go get it checked. So the app mainly just helps me keep.
And how big is the factor of stress over you?
Oh, it's quite big. I've for a person who has pretty regular cycle, like I do get it once a month, I have missed a month or so just because of stress. And it's been delayed. For example, like my last period was delayed by 45 to, I think it was 45 or 48 days, which is a lot because usually it's like a 28 to 30 day cycle. So I was delayed by almost 2 to 3 weeks because of stress. So it does play a huge role. But I mean, stress does ruin your body in different ways. I also used to, when I was really stressed out in university, when I was doing my bachelor's, I not only was late during my period, I broke out in hives. So my body was just covered in red, boil-looking things because of stress. So do not stress, my friends.
Wow. Okay. We spoke a lot on periods today. I think it's been super educational for me personally. And I really wish a lot of men listen to this.
I hope so too.
Yeah. And if they have any doubts, ask the women around them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, most of us are open to talking about it.
I think it's really needed to know. It's very necessary to know about this topic because, as we spoke, you never know what the person is facing, how the person is feeling. The person, maybe they have to cook, but then they're going through something, they're going through pain, impossible, or as you said, working 12 hours a day with the cramps. Very happy for you. Also very sad for you and for everyone.
Don't be sad, just be there for.
I will be there. I mean, after this, I think it's very brave of everyone to face this and to have this outcome and to be very positive. This is just my take, being very positive with all of this pain.
I mean, you've been a great friend during my period. You've always brought me sweets and cookies, which I appreciate.
You're welcome. Well, this is the end of part 2. So
wow, that's cool. We did quite good, I think.
Well, it was great to have you. And I really hope we can do more podcasts together in the future, for sure, with different topics. Thank you so much again for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Thank you so much. All the best for everything.
Thank you. And I wish you all the very best too.
Thank you guys. Please share this.
Bye.